Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, including news that's all about the airline industry today. The New Zealand government has started its sale of 20% of Air New Zealand, a stake currently valued at $362 million, to raise funds to repay debt and invest in infrastructure. The sale will reduce the government's current 73% stake to 53%, and still a controlling interest, just like the power companies. The Middle East has gone on a $150 billion spending spree to buy huge numbers of new aircraft from Airbus, A380s, and Boeing, that's Dreamliners, for its growing international airline fleets. And staying with the airline industry, Qantas is seething at the prospect that Australia's Virgin Airlines will be owned and controlled by state-owned Etihad, Singapore Airlines and Air New Zealand, and that approvals for the change will be up to the governments of each of these three countries. They're particularly upset that their cosy domestic cash cow will be challenged so that it can't cross-subsidise its international routes any longer. Also over the weekend, more stories are popping up about the tech bubble. We may be nearing a new .com bust like we had in the year 2000. The Dow and the S&P 500 hit new highs on Friday for a sixth straight week of gains, as investors continue to take cues from Fed Chair nominee Janet Yellen, who appears to endorse continued quantitative easing. Another equities crash at this time would be particularly damaging given the frail nature of recoveries in Western economies. However, there is evidence that markets are betting that QE cannot last much longer. Still, New Zealand is in better shape than most. Last week, our government sold 2020 bonds for 4.45% yield, and that compares with China's government selling 50-year bonds paying 5.31% over the weekend. They ended up paying more than expected due to weak demand. And finally, a couple of snippets of news from the financial industry. First, ANZ boss Mike Smith's pay has been revealed to be $11.7 million, almost $1 million per month, or $32,000 a day. And US giant GE is flogging off part of its financial arm by an IPO and trying to return to its roots of being an industrial company. The move is likely to have no implications for its business in New Zealand. New Zealand dollar starts today at 83.3 US cents, 88.9 Aussie cents, and the TWI is at 77.8. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.